G'day guys, this is the Staff Sarge back finally. I apologise, it's been fluey and work and etceteras. But regardless of that, let's get back into the game. This time, we're switching out Ramirez's Thessalonica Guardians with Private Martin. Who is Martin? Well, if you played the original Call of Duty, you would know him. He's basically the original Ramirez. I've been playing through with him in order to get the Steiner thing. As you can see, I've got Steiner rep all the way up. So he's going to be doing our Steiner playthrough, because once you start doing these missions, you can't go back to Steiner or Davion if you go with Davion or Steiner.
The Merc liaison is contracting for a covert op to take out a Davion communications array. The plan calls for a blackout emitter to cover the assault and a zero-witness cleanup. Pretty bloodthirsty stuff. Steiner must be pretty desperate to take this system.
So this is pretty indicative of how Steiner plays. Davion is... They're not always, straight up fighting. I mean, there's a couple of covert missions, but... Steiner, on the other hand, are all about the black bag operations, basically. So the way I'm playing with Steiner is, as I've said, Steiner always uses Assault Mechs, so that's what we're doing. All inner sphere Assault Mechs all the time. Starting with my ride for this mission, the Annihilator, not really mobile gun turret, because rack 20s, and all of the machine guns. So it's primarily a close-range bruiser, but those rack 20s can deal out a lot of damage very quickly, backed up by those machine guns. Light LMGs, simply because I don't actually have enough heavy MGs. That's what happens when you use a lot of them in Solaris. The Mauler is back. This time it is the Masochist, because of a very strange loader. I don't know what I was thinking with this, but still large pulse lasers are effective, if very heat inefficient. And LBX AC5s, because I don't think I've used them on a chaser yet. A couple of weapons I just kind of ignored because there's more effective ones in larger calibers or, not LBX. This is a new mech, the Stalker. I really like this design. It's a little bit derpy. It's a little bit of a silly mech, but I don't know, it looks beefy, and I'm very happy it's in Mechwarrior Online. That's a good thing in my book. Totally getting one of these. So it's primarily a heavy fire support mech, as far as I can tell. Someone's going to correct me in the thread, I know, but so it's mainly long range fire support I'm using it for. And finally, the Warlord. This mech is just weird. It's an Atlas that's been updated by the Lyrans, and it just doesn't. I don't know. It's still basically an Atlas. It just looks weird. But at the same time, I can actually load up with plasma cannons, which again, we haven't used on any kind of mechs. These things are kind of like PPCs that generate more heat, cause more heat to the enemy, and I think that's about it. They're also more expensive, and they're just a really fancy PPC, and I kind of like them. So that's my primary lance. So my secondary lance is all Atlases, starting with the Atlas Lyran Brawler. Reason is because it's equipped with all the short-range firepower. So, assault lasers and LBX 10s. It's just to wait in there and unload with it. It's also got a pulse laser in the eyes because, who doesn't like head lasers? Or shooting lasers out of the eyes. The Lyran support platform is the opposite. It's rigged out for long-range combat. So LRM-20s all over the place, which I've started to notice I've been doing a lot. Basically, if there's missile racks on an Atlas, they get filled up with LRM-20s. And also a PPC and Gauss rifle, again, long-range fire support. The Lyran Scout is continuing with the joke which has been done to death in this LP. It's slightly faster, and it's rigged out with basically a Scout Mech's armaments, but, with 3 large pulse lasers and 4 streak SRMs. And also bugger all armor in order to fit the extra engine room. I'm expecting this thing to die very quickly in a future mission. I'm probably not gonna... As I've said before, I rig out a mech, I generally tend to not modify it afterwards, but, yeah, so if I use this thing in a mission, I'm expecting it to die at some point. But I might as well try and just rearrange the armor a little bit. Leg armor, thicker leg armor than center torso armor seems a little bit silly. And finally, the Lyran Riot Police Unit, which is probably just doing this joke to death now. Oh god, we need cops on the scene with heavy weaponry. What do we do? Simple, we call in Atlases. Flamethrowers, machine guns, SRM-6s, and that's actually where the last time I heavy machine guns went to, rigging out this thing. So, 3 Clan Flamers, the reason why is because I've actually run out of Clan Flamers. Again, the marketplace can actually run out of equipment, which is annoying if you're constantly having your arms blown off or you're losing mechs. And so this is how we got, so my Annihilator, Stalker, Warlord, Mauler, and the 4 Atlases, for what is essentially a stealth operation. Because frickin' Steiner.
Cloaker, this is Spectre 1 reporting ready up.
Copy that. You make the call on timing.
This is Spectre 1. Call is midnight. I say again, midnight.
Acknowledged. Emitter engaged.
The Annihilator design's kind of growing on me. It was like, I really liked it, and then I thought it was derpy, and now it's...
Okay, we're on our own until this job is done. The emitter will tip them off that we're coming, but they don't know from where or in what strength. The blackout emitter jams our radar, same as theirs. You'll have to rely on visual target acquisition. Rendezvous at the designated nav point.
Roger, Spectre. Copy.
So riding our Stalker is actually Falcon. I know a lot of people...
Turrets on the ridge.
A lot of people asked about Falcon, like, why the hell didn't you want her in the play? Well, she's here now.
Radar off.
I didn't go with her originally because you only get her for the beach fight, and for Davion I generally go with the underhanded, you know, spheroid way of combat, which is, you know, striking them when they least expect it.
Platoon of quad panzers at Alpha. Fry 'em.
So this is the annoying part of this mission, the small fact that, as he said, Black Emitter jams your radar too, which means that, holy fuck, quad panzers out of nowhere.
Contact with hostiles.
Here come the mechs. Let 'em have it.
Roger.
So the downside is that you can't...
Attack your closest target.
Affirmative.
It is
Spectre.
impossible
Roger,
to get any kind of overview of the battle. Like, basically just wander over a hill and, oh god, there's tanks and there's PPC fire coming from somewhere. There's another Calliope on the other ridge. And suddenly, battle mechs. The other problem is that you can't concentrate fire at all. You basically just have to tell them to engage the nearest target and hope for the best. So, it's a touch annoying, but, you know, considering the fact that I'm running with 8 Assault Mechs versus, what seems to be 2 Lancers. 2 mixed Lancers. I know there's a couple of Assault Mechs in the mix, but it's mostly heavies. So you can take them down fairly quick. As we can see there. Where's the next one? There you go, Black Knight. The other issue is that I have no idea how many enemy mechs are on the field, or how many we've destroyed, and god damn that Black Knight hits hard. What else we got? Oh, god. So my racks are actually in the arms, so somehow they haven't been destroyed from my left arm being royally fucked up. Oops, spoke too soon, there it goes. So, and the other god, I need to actually physically look at the mechs to see if they're an enemy or not. I'm just gonna let them deal with the mechs, I'll see about... There we go.
Neutralized. Let's take out the base. All units, move to Beta.
Understood. Roger. Roger. Roger, Spectre.
Ooh, shiny. So what we saw just there, that is the Hyperpulse generator. I think I mentioned them before. The way tech works in Battletech is fast and light travel is instantaneous through the use of jump drives. And that also goes for communications as well as jump ships to move supplies around. The issue is that it takes a lot of energy to do so. With jump ships, they generally use solar energy. They charge up their capacitors for a week and then they make the jump. Hyperpulse generators do it with messages, but they just use a fusion reactor. But it uses a hell of a lot of energy to make a transmission. So often what they do is, if it's not considered to be very important and you're not willing to pay a premium to send out immediately, they'll hold on to a bunch of data packages and then send them off
Destroy
at
all
once.
vehicles and habitat buildings. 0 witnesses.
Alright, this is what we're getting paid for. Just kill everything. Yeah, this will start to come up in the Steiner playthrough. It's a Steiner are real damn ruthless. But hey, they pay well. I mean, enough to support a full company of assaults.
Com station destroyed.
Okay, now we have the choice to
destroyed. Call is snowblind. Repeat, snowblind.
I have the choice to just disengage at this point. Like, I assume if you went with the lighter lance, you want to just race in, avoid enemy contact, race in and destroy the thing. You can just disengage. But again, freaking Assault Mechs. And I mean, all we have to do to finish this mission is just make sure that there's nobody left alive.
Let's call this a wrap.
Cloaker, this is Spectre 1. Mission successful. Castle, let's run a hasty salvage. I don't want to be here when the Davions come looking for their comm relay.
Agreed. Salvage en route. We'll get the MFB online back at base. Give us 2 hours.
Confirmed mission successful with the Steiner liaison. Payment has been released to our account. I needn't remind you, sir, that covert ops are one thing, but taking on Victor's people in the open is another. The Davions will blacklist us for that.
So much
Things
infamy.
are looking bad for Katrina on New Avalon. Siding with her may be signing on to a sinking ship.
Yeah, I kind of thought she just stopped on there. So, 2 mechs damaged, for 4 mechs in salvage, and a couple of weapons, including another plasma cannon, and Artemis LRM-20, which, I didn't... Yeah, MechTech screwed around with the salvage as well. I mean, getting weapons like that seems a little bit strange, but... Well, either that or they replaced, I don't know. So as you can see, there's actually no new news broadcasts at all. I mean, we got the Solaris ones. I did all of Solaris for the Steiner playthrough, so Martin is now the, king of Solaris, as you do. So, yes. That was our first mission, and as said, we're going to be running from now on nothing but Assault Mechs. Specifically Innisphere Assault Mechs, because running with nothing but Clan or Assault Mechs would just get silly. So don't worry if people really like the Clan attack. If you're waiting to see a Kodiak or a God forbid a oh damn, I forgot what it's called now. Stone Rhino, that's the one. If you really want to see, or a Blood Apps even, that'll be with Ramirez. So Ramirez's run is going to be more of a mixed force. I'm trying to stick to heavies, but if it's going to be combat heavy, and there's going to be a few missions where you need a fuck ton of firepower, there will be the big guns coming out. But Steiner, as said, just Assault Mechs, just Innisphere Assault Mechs as much as I can. Which hopefully will help out with some of these operations, because as has been hinted in the thread, there are a couple of Steiner missions that are just dildos. That's the only way to describe them. Good God. I mean, it's one thing to do covert operations or asymmetrical warfare, but it's another thing for what these guys do. God damn. So doing blackout, because, of the jammer and all that kind of stuff, we're not blacklisted by Davion yet. We still have Moonlight available. But, of course, we're not going to do it because we're going to be doing Night Op. What is Night Op? Well, it's going to be an interesting mission. The next time we see Steiner, I still need to figure out what the bloody hell I'm doing for this. But that's for the mission. That's for the video after the next mission video. The next one, we're going back to Solaris again. As said, I'm flipping between them to keep them a bit fresh, which will be the final circuit of Solaris, the Assault Circuit. And this is going to be a lot of fun. So I'll see you guys around next time. Kicking off our first Steiner mech of the mission is the Ark Royal ANH-2A Annihilator. Technically, this mech is a Clanner chassis, though it was developed well before Omnitech was the standard. Designed during the American Civil War, the conflict late in the 28th century that directly resulted in the Star League in exile and ultimately the clans, it was built as a semi-mobile defensive support platform, being used to plug holes in the defense line with maximum armor and firepower. By the time of the clan invasion in the 31st century, the outdated design had been replaced, although it did see service with the Wolf's Dragoons, which first exposed the assault chassis to the Innisphere. A full 100-ton assault mech, the Annihilator is an extremely slow design, relying on its armor to get into range to bring all 4 LBX-10 autocannons to bear, backed up by 4 pulse lasers for more ammo-conservative point defense. Several redesigns do exist, all favoring ludicrous firepower from Gauss rifles or autocannons. Overall, the Annihilator is always an effective chassis if pilots prefer to alpha strike just about any target into dust, regardless of its lack of speed and, honestly, mid-range armor for its weight.